The psychology of money. Money isn't just a thing we use to buy stuff. It's deeply intertwined with how we think, how we feel, and how we interact with the world around us. It shapes our relationships, our identities, and even our sense of happiness. The psychology of money is more than just how we make it, spend it, or save it. It's about understanding the emotions and beliefs that influence our financial decisions and how those beliefs get formed in the first place. In this chapter, we will take a deep dive into the psychological aspects of money. We'll explore where our ideas about money come from, how our emotions impact our financial choices, and how we can develop a healthier mindset around money that helps us lead a more fulfilled and balanced life. 1. Where does our money mindset come from? Most of us don't realize how early our relationship with money begins. From the moment we're born, we start picking up on the money-related attitudes and behaviors of those around us. Typically, it's our parents or caregivers who shape the foundation of how we view money. Whether we grow up in a household that's financially secure or one that's struggling, those early experiences and messages stick with us, sometimes for a lifetime. For example, if you grew up in a home where money was tight, your parents might have constantly talked about budgeting, savings, or avoiding unnecessary purchases. This can lead you to develop a scarcity mindset, the belief that there will never be enough money, which can result in a constant sense of financial anxiety and an unwillingness to spend or invest, even when it might be appropriate. On the other hand, if you grew up in a family that was comfortable financially, where money was never a worry, you might have learned that money is simply a tool to achieve comfort and freedom. This could lead to a sense of financial ease, a belief that money is there to support a good life. But it may also lead to overconfidence or spending beyond your means, thinking that there's always more where it came from. What's fascinating is that these early influences can shape how we view money throughout our lives. And even if we become financially independent, those deep-rooted beliefs can sometimes hold us back from making the best financial choices. Understanding where these beliefs came from and how they affect us is a great first step toward changing our money mindset. 2. Money is emotional. One of the things that makes money such a powerful force is how emotional it is. We don't just use money as a transaction tool, we tie so many feelings to it. Money can bring us joy, anxiety, guilt, shame, pride, and even a sense of safety. When we spend money, we don't just think about the item we're purchasing. We're often thinking about what that purchase represents: comfort, status, success, or escape. Take the example of retail therapy. How many times have you gone shopping or made an impulse purchase because you were feeling stressed, sad, or just wanted to feel better in the moment? That temporary boost of happiness can feel great. But then, after the shopping high fades, you might be left with feelings of regret or guilt, especially if that purchase wasn't really necessary. The emotional pull of money isn't limited to spending. Many people experience financial anxiety, especially when it comes to saving. We worry about not saving enough for retirement or whether we'll ever have enough to feel secure. The fear of not having enough money can lead to excessive saving, even when we could afford to relax and spend on things that bring joy. Ironically, this fear of scarcity can sometimes make us more stressed and less content, despite having the resources to feel secure. On the flip side, some people might experience guilt around money. Maybe they've been raised to believe that enjoying luxury or spending on themselves is selfish, or they might have internalized the belief that they should always be giving money away to others, even at their own expense. These conflicting emotions, wanting to feel safe and secure while also feeling guilty about enjoying money, create inner turmoil that can lead to unhealthy financial habits. By understanding that money is an emotional experience, we can start to unpack why we feel the way we do about it and begin making more thoughtful decisions. The goal isn't to completely remove emotions from our financial lives. Emotions are part of being human, after all, but to find a balance where our feelings don't dictate our actions impulsively. Social influences, the pressure to keep up. We live in a world where social comparison is constantly happening, whether we realize it or not. Our culture places significant value on external markers of success, flashy cars, designer clothes, fancy vacations, and the perfect lifestyle. With the rise of social media, this pressure has only intensified. We see our friends and influencers on Instagram showing of their latest purchases or their exotic getaways, and we can't help but compare ourselves to them. This social pressure can create a sense of inadequacy. You might look at someone else's success and think, why don't I have that? Or, I should be doing more to achieve that kind of lifestyle. This can lead to impulsive spending or trying to keep up with people whose financial situation may be very different from yours. When we constantly compare ourselves to others, we risk making financial decisions that aren't in alignment with our personal values or goals. We might take on more debt, overspend on things we don't really need, or even sacrifice long-term financial stability in order to match someone else's present reality. What's important here is to remember that social comparison is often misleading. What we see on social media or in the lives of others rarely tells the full story. Someone might look like they have it all together, but behind closed doors, they could be facing financial difficulties too. Shifting your mindset away from comparison and instead focusing on your own values and goals is key to breaking free from this cycle. 4. Cognitive biases and how they shape our financial choices. Humans aren't always the best at making rational decisions, especially when it comes to money. We are often swayed by cognitive biases, which are mental shortcuts or patterns of thinking that can lead to errors in judgment. These biases can significantly influence our financial decisions, sometimes without us even realizing it. Here are some common cognitive biases that affect our relationship with money. Loss. Aversion. We fear losses more than we enjoy gains. In other words, the pain of losing $100 feels much stronger than the pleasure of gaining $100. This bias can lead people to hold on to losing investments or assets, hoping they'll bounce back, even when it's clear they shouldn't. It can also cause people to avoid taking reasonable financial risks, even if those risks could lead to long-term rewards. The sunk cost fallacy. This bias happens when we continue investing time, money, or effort into something simply because we've already invested so much in it, even if it no longer makes sense to do so. For example, continuing to pay for a gym membership you don't use because you've already paid for the year, or holding on to a stock that's clearly underperforming because you've already lost money on it. Overconfidence. Bias. Sometimes we believe we know more than we actually do. This overconfidence can lead to risky financial behavior. For example, thinking that we can predict the stock market, or that we'll always make smart investment decisions, even when we don't have the necessary expertise or information. By understanding these biases, we can begin to recognize when our thinking is being clouded by irrational judgments. Recognizing these patterns in ourselves is the first step to making better, more informed financial decisions. 5. Money and identity, how wealth affects who we are. Money is a symbol of success, competence, and even self-worth. This connection between money and identity can drive some people to chase wealth for the wrong reasons. They may believe that having a certain amount of money or material possessions will give them status or make them feel more valuable. Others may feel shame or inadequacy because they haven't achieved the financial success they think they should have by a certain point in their lives. The problem is that money does not define who we are. While it can certainly provide comfort and security, it is not the sole measure of our worth as human beings. It's important to separate your self-worth from your net worth and recognize that true fulfillment and happiness come from much deeper sources than material wealth. 6. Developing a healthier relationship with money. So, how do we shift our mindset and develop a healthier, more mindful relationship with money? Here are some key steps to get started. Self-awareness. Pay attention to how you feel when you think about money. Are you anxious, excited, scared? Understanding your emotions is the first step in gaining control over them. Reframe your beliefs. Work on shifting your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, practice gratitude for the money you do have and the opportunities available to you. Set meaningful financial goals. Rather than chasing arbitrary markers of success, focus on financial goals that align with your values and priorities. Whether it's saving for a comfortable retirement, traveling more, or simply reducing financial stress, make sure your goals are meaningful to you. Learn to let go of comparisons. Resist the urge to compare your financial situation to others. What works for someone else may not work for you. Focus on your own path and your own progress. Take action. Educate yourself about personal finance, whether it's budgeting, saving, investing, or managing debt. The more informed you are, the more confident you'll feel in making decisions that align with your goals. Conclusion. The psychology of money is about much more than numbers. It's about understanding the emotions, beliefs, and social influences that shape our financial lives. By becoming more aware of the psychological factors that impact our relationship with money, we can develop healthier habits, make more thoughtful decisions, and ultimately create a sense of financial security and well-being that goes beyond the bank balance. Money may always play a significant role in our lives, but by understanding the psychology behind it, we can learn to use it in ways that bring us true happiness and peace of mind.